Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Tony versus the World. I am your humble and gracious host, Tony, your favorite traveler's favorite traveler, and everything else under the sun. Guess what? Guess where we are today? You already know, I don't have to tell you. I'm at the airport. I'm going to take a little short trip, nothing crazy, going to San Diego, but the reason why we're doing this video is I'm going to give you all the details on the trip that I just took, all the things that I wish I could tell somebody else if they were going to go to these places, and everything else that I could possibly think of when we get to San Diego. So let's take this short trip, and then we can talk when we get there. Let's go!
No, Tony versus the World!
Ladies and gents, finally arrived at the hotel so we can get started right away with the things I learned on my trip. And I got a bunch of notes for you guys, and we're going to run through that stuff right now. So the first thing that I learned in Spain when I went to Ibiza, it's actually pronounced Ibiza. In English, we pronounce their sound with a TH, so it's Ibiza, Ibiza. And I know this because I got corrected by everybody, I mean, in a nice way, everybody while I was there. It's not Ibiza, it's Ibiza. That's the first thing that I learned. The second thing I learned, everything you heard about Ibiza is true. The big giant warehouses where they have 10,000 people and a raging party that goes until 7 a.m., 8 a.m. in the morning, it's true. That happens all the time. I got taken to one of the bigger clubs called Amnesia that's actually closed right now, that holds the most people in the world. It's actually classified as the biggest nightclub in the entire world. It's in Ibiza, but it's closed right now. Obviously during COVID they got some, wiggling around to do before they can actually start to open up and allow that many people inside a venue at once. So, but it's the party town, it's the party city of like Europe as a whole. So if you guys want to experience that, maybe when things get better, that's the place to go. All right, so one other thing that I learned, Vueling Airlines and Ryanair, they're like the Spirit Airlines and Frontier Airlines of Europe. Don't do it. It's a bad decision. If you guys have ever flown Spirit before in the United States, it's the same type of deal when you fly Vueling Airlines and Ryanair. They cheapskate you, the seats are thin, I mean, it's just a hassle all the way around. Here's my advice, stay away from it, even though the flights are cheap. That's the reason why I took them, and now I'm passing that information on to you. If you're fine with Spirit, if you're fine with Frontier, no problem, these are the places to look. But if you're not, don't do it. Steer clear of those guys. Let's see what else here. I didn't have a particularly terrible experience with them. That's just not my thing. Some people just don't like Spirit, and you guys understand. Okay, so let's move on to Paris. So in Paris, I tried that beef tartare, which is seasoned raw meat. Yes, I know, it sounds ridiculous, it sounds crazy, but they season raw meat, and it actually wasn't that bad. If you guys watch the video that I posted where I actually tried it for the first time, you'll see that, I wasn't really super disgusted or anything, but it's probably something that I wouldn't order again. But, I'm one of those I'll try anything once type of person, and I tried it. That's probably going to be my last time. All right. So the Eiffel Tower. So the Eiffel Tower requires you to be fully vaccinated and have your COVID test, or have a COVID test when you come. If you do not have either, they will not let you on the grounds of the Eiffel Tower. You won't even be able to come close to it. They will take a picture of your card, scan your card, make sure it's all official, So there's no getting around that. Make sure you have your stuff in order before you go to the Eiffel Tower. Paris Airport. They held me back 3 different times for 3 different reasons, and I think once I was late, the other one I didn't have a COVID test, the other one I didn't have the right COVID test. Well, I did have a COVID test because I was always told that if you have your vaccination card or proof of vaccination, then you'll be all right. That's not true. So let's talk about flying internationally, period, during COVID right now. Always, always, always be safe and get a PCR test. Do not get the rapid antigen test. They will not accept it. Some places will, but be safe. Take the PCR test. Most of the countries now that are requiring you to have a test, even outside of a vaccination, they're going to require you to have a PCR test. Some countries even require you to have a vaccination and a PCR test, no matter if you're vaccinated or not. So make sure you guys get a PCR test if you're going international anytime soon, because I have no idea when it's going to stop. So just be careful, be safe, get the test, because they will stop you from getting on a flight like they did me. Let's talk about Ghana. You guys watched the video. I didn't get a chance to go to Ghana, and that's why. Also, you saw when I tried to go to Ghana, they stopped me from getting on the plane because I didn't have a visa. Well, I specifically showed you guys, it tells you that you can get a visa on arrival, but apparently maybe I was wrong, or whatever it was, they didn't let me on. So don't do that. If a country requires you to have a visa, don't bank on you getting your visa on arrival. Get it beforehand. You're going to have to send out your passport like 3 weeks in advance so you can get it back in enough time to take your trip. Just don't trust all the information that you read, because these airlines and the countries now, they're super strict and they will deny you for anything. So always have your ducks in order before you go. As a seasoned traveler, I should have known that, but I read the information and I took a chance. So anyway, that's that with Ghana. Let's move on to Dubai. All right. So when I went to Dubai, guess what? When I was in Riga, that weird country in Latvia, they actually stopped me before I got on the plane because I didn't have my COVID test printed out. I had it on my phone and I showed it to them. Everything was legit. I had the PCR test, but I didn't have it physically printed out, and they stopped me from getting on a plane. I had to beg and beg and beg for somebody to print it out for me. One of the people at the gates to print it out for me so I could get on the plane and not miss my flight. Why they're coming up with all of these rules, I have no idea, but that's one thing. Always have your documents printed out, ready to go, not electronic. For whatever reason, they just were not accepting it. There were like 3 other people that were in the same boat as me, and fortunately we all made it. Okay, so Dubai, it's super diverse. Most of the people that live in Dubai aren't from Dubai. They're from other countries, and they come there to work. They come there to have a better life. They come there to see the culture there, but they're not from there. So that means that when you go there, you can have, Mexican food, Chinese food, Arabian food, whatever you want, everything all over. I just found that pretty decent. I found other countries like that, like Singapore is like that too, but that was just an observation I made while I was there. Dubai, always, always, always wear shorts. I mean, that seems like common sense, but it always gets super hot there during the day, and you'll regret it if you wear pants during the day or long sleeves during the day when you really don't need to. It seems like common sense, but just something I wanted to throw out there. All right, So let's talk about Mauritius. First of all, it's not Mauritius like I kind of thought, but it's Mauritius. Everybody was super nice there. This place reminded me of Seychelles. That's because it's actually 2 hours away. The islands are really, really close to each other. So, you know, you can see how easily these two places resemble each other. I talked to 3 different locals, and they all said Seychelles is better than Mauritius. Why they would say that, I don't know. But hey, look, if they said it, then I believe it. I've also been to Seychelles, and I got a video when I went there too. This was video that I took when I was in Seychelles that, you know, I wasn't really doing all the type of stuff that I'm doing now. I took, you know, sporadic video, and I put something together. You know, maybe I'll have to go back to Seychelles and take a real video sooner than later. Okay, so in Mauritius also, they drive on the left side. They are a French colony, but they speak English and they speak French, and you know, that was just weird to me. In France, they drive on the right, so they're a French colony, and in Mauritius, they drive on the left, which was, I don't know, I just couldn't make sense of that, and I didn't really ask. It wasn't that big of a deal, but don't sweat it. That was just something that I observed, that I noticed. Okay, so lastly, let's talk about London. You guys saw the London video where I was going home, and listen, let me tell you something. If you guys are traveling from the west or from the east, going back to the west, back to America, and you have to stop anywhere in London, anywhere of the 2 airports, never, ever, 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 ever let somebody convince you to fly into one airport and then you make a transfer to the other airport and then fly out of the other airport. The transfers between London Gatwick and London Heathrow, it cost me about $35, which was like maybe 27 euro or 26 euro or something like that, whatever it was, but it was a hassle. Nobody told me where to go. There were no signs. I had to figure it out on my own, and it was a hassle. Never, ever, ever do that. I've been told by other people that have done it, yeah, it's real easy. There's a shuttle that goes from one airport to the other because people do this all the time. Don't do it. Do not do it. Do not do it. There's a lesson learned from me. I will never do that again. I'll pay the extra money just so I can fly in one airport, out the same airport. I don't want to have to take a bus, which that's what I did. I took a bus about half hour, 45 minutes away to the other airport to fly out. And I transfer my bags? No. I had to pick up my bags and carry my bags with me on the bus to get all the way to the other airport, and that was just a hassle. So yeah, I learned a lot. I learned a lot more than this. I wanted to make this video kind of short, but just to give you guys some little tips that I jotted down while I was traveling around. So I got a bunch of other things that I'm going to let you guys in on in the next video. So yeah, you know how this goes, guys. Everybody be safe, stay traveling, come back for the next one. This is Tony versus the world. We are